Hello, everyone. Bess and I are part of the clinical application scientist team here at Coopersurgical. We're in clinical support. We're kind of the boots on the ground for the embryologists out there. Happy to visit your labs, provide support, talk about different procedures. The procedure we will be talking about today and would invite anyone to come forward after is going to be biopsy tube loading today. So the particular method that we will be demoing with Bess is a wet loading procedure where you would actually preload your sample tubes with a specific volume. In this case here, in the demo, we're talking about 2 microliters. With our particular procedure, the real end game of 2.5 is utmost important. Whether you wet load in that first drop of 1 microliter or 1.5 or whatever, that can be determined as long as you make sure that the end volume is not more than 2.5. We would also suggest that you can use a cool block for holding the rack, and of course making sure that you label with barcodes provided, or if you happen to be so lucky and have one of our fantastic witness systems, we have our witness labels that can also be used for our kits as well. In terms of the actual cell preparation for tubing and the cell washing, you're looking at washing through at least 3 or 4 buffer drops that is provided in the kits. We would recommend at least 20 microliters per wash drop. We would also recommend that you use at least 2 pipettes over the course of this process. Obviously, for the embryologists out there, they understand they're taking a sample from an oil-covered plate, bringing it to potentially a not oil-covered plate, and so there's always the potential of contamination or just the disruption of the oil to the end process, and we want to try to avoid that. So switching to a brand new non-oil disturbed pipette is always a good recommendation to make. So you want to also, of course, in anything we ever do, whether we're moving embryos, moving anything in the lab, you always want to minimize the amount that you transfer from one drop to the next. You want to take, again, the importance of taking a fresh pipette, pre-rinse that pipette, and expel buffer after each washing step. In this example, talking about rinsing twice and preloading for the next drop. And ultimately, as I said, in this example written out, where we started with 2 microliters in the prep tube, we can make sure that the end game of being 2.5, meaning we want to not transfer more than 0.5 microliters of sample and last buffer. So after the final wash drop, transfer the sample with the minimum volume of buffer to the tube, as I said, having an end game of 2.5. And again, whether that's 1 at the beginning and then 1.5, again, the end game and importance is 2.5. Or in the example presented on the screen here, 2 and 0.5. It's always a good idea to visualize everything that you're doing, possibly using a dish as Bess will demo, and I'll walk through that as well. And of course, making sure that you're putting all the details on the worksheet, and of course having a witness, second embryologist, to help you out and assist you. And then once everything is done, you want to store that sample in a -20 stable freezer until it's time to follow the shipment instructions by the manufacturer and shipping them to your PGTA clinic. So now the fun for us embryologists, and let's watch Bess go to work, and we'll switch cameras. So obviously we don't have any biopsy sample, but we'll have a microbead. I'm sure all the embryologists out there in the field know all about practicing with those. So Bess is going to pull up the microbead, go to another wash drop, begin the process. And again, as we recommend, she'll switch because she just took the sample from the oil drop, now going to the wash drop. So she wants to start with a fresh biopsy pipette, and she'll go through that washing procedure. about, again, at least about 20 microliters per drop, at least 3 to 4 drops. We're rinsing at least up and down twice in between the drops. And then as she's now finished the washing step, she is ready to now...
Wearing gloves.
She should also be wearing gloves. Yes, sorry, we don't have gloves, but she should be wearing gloves. And also any other appropriate PPE in terms of a head cover, mask, anything else to, again.
Side of the dish stuff.
She's going to then use a dish here with the PCR tube kind of holding it so she can create nice visualization of when she goes in this case with the bead, and watch it actually go into the tube. There we go.
Not that most ideal, but
Yeah.
you know, it's about monthly, but don't so visualize out here going in and seeing the tube.
Yeah. So obviously it's always a good idea to get your orientation first, know exactly where you're going, and then once you're in the PCR tube, go look under the microscope, follow it in, follow your sample. In this case with Bess, she's following the bead, and hopefully it can be seen there, and we can leave this up as she went into her 2 microliters, ended with her final of 2.5 and less. She'll cap it, and then be ready to move on to her next sample if necessary. Good job, Bess.
You like that?
And like we said, we're here. We'd like to invite anybody who would like to. We have definitely have more beads. If you'd like to practice loading, that's what we're here to do, and here to help and assist. So please feel free to come on forward if you wish. Thank you very much. See you in your labs.